Let's go to the next question. I want to put a border across the bottom of a range, but I want gaps between each column. How do I do that? Let's create a new worksheet and type some values, for example, January, February, and March. And let's see what happens if we try to put a border at the bottom of these cells. You can select the cells, come over to the Borders drop-down, and specify a border that goes just on the bottom. It's the second one over and the second one down. And that puts a border at the bottom of the cells, but there's really no way to put a gap in between the bottom of each of those cells. The easiest way to do it is to take an otherwise blank column, make it very narrow, and then, dragging this thick border that's around the edge of the selection, using the right mouse button, select the second column, the one after you want the gap, and choose Shift, Right, and Copy. This shifts the cells over and creates a gap. You can do the same thing again. On top of March, Shift, Right, and Copy, and you end up with gaps between the cells. You can make those gaps as wide or as narrow as you want, but that's a good way to make it look as if there's a gap, even though Excel doesn't really allow you to create a format with gaps between cells. Once again, we see the same pattern. Where possible, you use Excel's built-in formatting tools to get the format you want, and where you need to, you insert rows or columns to be able to get exactly the effect that you really want. Let's go to the next question. I want to center a label at the top of some columns, but there are an even number of columns. How do I center the text across these two columns? Let's insert a new worksheet, and suppose that you want to put expenses in column C and revenue in column B, but then put January in column B, excuse me. Now you can center January over column B by clicking the Center button on the formatting toolbar. That centers January over the one column. But to try to center January across these two columns, it doesn't center. It just centers it within the one column. The solution to this is what you really want is you want these two cells to act as if they were a single cell. Excel 97 has a new feature that allows you to merge these cells, and then you can center across the merged cells. This button right here, which is called Merge and Center, combines merging and centering in one operation. When you click the button, it combines cell B4 with C4. Notice if you click on B4, it actually selects the whole thing as if it were a single cell and centers the title across both headings. Let me show you a different way to use this, is that you may want to have January be in column A, referring to several different rows. But let's suppose that you want January to be a heading for these rows centered across. You can select January along with the cells below it. Let's see how it does that. And now it's as if you have a single cell here to the left of those revenue and expense cells. Then, to tip January on its side, you need to go to Format, Cells, change to the Alignment tab, and over here on the right, there's a little compass-like thing that allows you to point the text in any direction you want. Now January refers, it's a label on all of those cells. Go back to Cells Alignment and say that vertically you want it to be at the top, and click OK to combine the January label off to the left of some vertical columns. So not only can you center cells horizontally over multiple cells, you can merge and center cells vertically in a column off to the side. This merge cell feature is really powerful. It allows you to have all of the structure of the cells and the grid and the formatting capabilities of that, while still giving you the flexibility to turn cells into whatever you want by merging cells as you need. That's a powerful feature for formatting the cells that the values go into.